Good morning. Just says no, just morning. So we crossed the ferry in the dark, so I didn't record that. But we're on Highway 3A southbound between Grey Creek and Creston. Picked up Jess, that was exciting. This is going to be a good video, but I do have to bring it up because I've told everybody we're doing a weekend run. It looks like we may not be doing a weekend run. Somebody forgot their passports. Here's what it is. She's beating herself up so badly. So we were going to get a run to Manitoba and then from Manitoba get a run to the US. No passport. The whole reason she's here. Go to Manitoba. Manitoba's a no-go. So it's the first time we've forgotten them in 2 years. So it happens.
The first time in 2 years you've actually picked me up midweek.
No. I have picked you up in the middle of the week once or twice before.
And every month.
I have. But nonetheless. So I have no idea. Our weekend run is, unless he can get another load in Manitoba, our weekend run's gone either way. So, it's okay. It's okay. I do remember this. There's Jack. Hey, look at the smiley face. But beautiful fall colors down this road. We're enjoying this road. It's always a small, narrow, twisty road. It's always enjoyable to drive down. Is that snowing? I think we got snowflakes. I know you want to speed here. It's so easy. I really have to watch my speedometer down every hill truck wants to speed. It's snowing here. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. Jess kept saying it looks pretty stormy south. Well, we didn't have to go very far south before it starts snowing. If it's snowing down here, oh boy. If we get to go over Kootenay Pass empty, that might be a little tricky. But look at these roads. I love these roads. Narrow, twisty, windy road. And if all of a sudden Kootenay Pass closes, we can't take the ferry back because they are only doing morning runs. So they probably wouldn't close, but we might have to chain up going over empty. So it'll be interesting. Will be interesting. But it'll be an hour before we get to Creston. Have to untarp, unload, so easy, full 2 hours before we're gonna be headed that way. Okay, computer, you do not have to hit the brakes. Silly computer. Just must be the right angle, the right twist, and it decides to hit the brakes for me. Because I guess we took the corner and we had a bit of a roll in the road, so it goes. The suspension is all of a sudden rolling a lot more, so it feels like, I don't know. Computer thought we were going to roll over. We were not. I assure you, that was not a fast corner. Sometimes I see these rigs just blazing around corners. This truck would not do that with all the sensors. There's no way it would be applying brakes like crazy. Not very often that they do apply themselves, but every now and then on these narrow twisty roads they do that. Climbing Anarchist and Soyuz, sometimes they kick in around one of those corners too. So I've learned to actually take that corner 10 kilometers below the suggested speed limit or else they'll kick in. So sometimes I forget and do 50 and then they kick in. 100-kilometer road, but the corner suggested speed is 50. I usually hit it at 40. Definitely snow up on those mountains. You see the bottom of the clouds is where the snow line is, a little bit below the bottom of the clouds. Ferry solution, queensbayferry.com.ca. So right here, this location's got all this political ferry stuff going on right now. They're installing a new ferry. It's going to cost tens of thousands of millions of dollars or whatever to save 5 minutes in the trip. You still have to cross the lake. It's going to take 35 minutes to cross the lake. Save you 5 minutes and spend this many thousands of dollars. I don't know. What's wrong with the ferry as is? How do you want your tax dollars to be spent? You want that many of your tax dollars going into a ferry that saves you 5 minutes? So instead of a 35-minute crossing, it'll now be 30-minute. Whoop-dee. Now, if the ferry, which it is, it's a really old ferry. The other end is this rickety wooden platform to get onto the ferry. So it could use an update. So I guess that could be part of the argument going, hey, we need to update these ferry launches anyway, so why don't we just build a brand new, you have to spend half the money to build a brand new one on the Nelson side of the lake. Why don't we build a new one on this side too? I don't know. I'm just happy with the way the ferry runs right now, so. But I don't live in the area, so it's not, I guess it is my tax dollars being used over here too. We do use the ferry, but it really affects the people that live here a lot more. But just to save 5 minutes, it's not worth building a new ferry. Not the actual ferry. I don't know, or maybe they're getting a new ferry too, but just the docks. To get the ferry loaded and unloaded, they're building a new one. Yes, pick up behind me. I know I'm going 60 in a 60 zone. I'm sorry. The leaves are just gorgeous here. And you got the dead leaves laying on the roadway. Gotta drive through them over here. They scatter everywhere behind me. I love fall. I love all the seasons, but Jess really loves fall. The whole mountain on the other side is yellow looking, fall leaves. I have a hard time seeing it because, you know, my eyes are on the road. And you have to look through all the trees. I'm just getting the nod from Jess. It's like, digging yourself a hole. Digging yourself a hole. Maybe I'll forget something. Too soon?
And all the time.
She's like, I forget everything or stuff all the time anyway, so what's the difference? house there. It looks like they're building a platform at the top for car parking, and then the house is down the stairs. Lockhart Beach. So I bet we'll have a new place at home where we store passports. You know what? We all make mistakes. It's best not to dwell on them.
It's also best not to make fun of somebody repeatedly over and over and over.
She says it's also best not to make fun of somebody over and over and over after they make a mistake. That is true. I can't disagree with that statement.
I'm down.
But the best thing is, it's like, okay, I screwed up. Yep, I lost the trailer on the highway. Okay, what went wrong? Took me till last week to figure out what went wrong with that trailer I lost. You know, how long ago is that? Like 2 months ago? But I figured out what most likely went wrong, so that was good. I now know how not to let that happen again. So okay, we've learned that. We won't make that mistake again. And then you move on. I'm sorry, I cannot share that kind of language with the viewers. Those hand gestures are not allowed to be shared on video. Sorry guys, I'm not allowed to.
I thought you were too busy watching yourself.
I'm too busy watching the road. I can't watch any hand gestures. Man, I've been having trouble speeding the last 2 days, 3 days.
I thought you said sleeping, and I was totally on board with that.
Oh, look at that. It's so beautiful. On Tuesday, I kept going over a couple of places. I was doing 15 over the speed limit. It's like, what? And then yesterday, I totally missed a sign, and I was doing 85 in a 60 zone. It's like, no! I'm the co-chair for Safety Highway Division. I cannot be one of the guys that speeds. Cannot be. So I gotta get that back down to 0. I'm expecting an email about my speeding for yesterday. That is just excessive speeding. So I just missed the sign completely. Just completely missed it. And the day before, it was the bad weather. No cruise control, so I was just using the throttle. Had the jake brakes off, cruise control off, and I found myself speeding coming up over hills, because you're climbing the hill, got the throttle all the way in, and then as you go over the hill, it's like, oh, I still have my throttle all the way in. Ah, shoot, I'm doing 15 over. The company policy is no speeding. If you go over 11 kilometers, you start getting dinged on your scorecard. Hey, speeding. So I try not to speed. Usually my cruise control is set 2 kilometers over the speed limit. That way at least I'm doing the speed limit. 2 kilometers over or under, I don't consider speeding. I try to be under when coming into corners. You know, the corners, you just come in slow and then accelerate out. Anytime you see my GPS saying I'm going more than 2 kilometers, I'm like, okay, click 1 notch down. So sometimes it's set at 1 kilometer over, sometimes it's set at 2 kilometers over, whatever is accurate. That's where I like to sit. There's no need being in a rush. Same with like yesterday speeding and the day before, especially the day before, I was in no rush. There was no need to be speeding. Yesterday I was in a rush, but still, you can't do 25 over in a speed zone. Well, luckily my GPS starts blinking like crazy when I'm speeding, so I caught it fairly soon after the sign, but the GPS isn't accurate. Sometimes it's blinking at me when I am doing the speed limit. There, I'm doing 59 and 60 right now, so we'll click it up by 1 notch. Now it says 61, so we'll leave it right there. Back to 59 and then to 60 and then 61, so that's a good spot to be at. And then a little downhill like here goes to 63. But in the winter, you don't want to use cruise control on slippery surfaces and no jake brakes on slippery surfaces, so I've got to train my foot not to speed again. Man, that is beautiful. I like this highway. I got a pretty sweet job. So what is today? Today's the 10th. Okay, so I don't have to worry about any safety meetings next week. Yeah, we're in the beginning of the month. So yeah, cool. It means payday cutoff is in the middle of next week somewhere, Tuesday. Okay, that'll be annoying to send it in. I always like it when cutoff is on the weekend. I can just email my spreadsheet in, done. I'm sure there's a way for me to send the spreadsheet from my laptop to my iPhone and then email it in that way. I just haven't bothered researching that. When I can just hit the print button on the laptop, it prints it out, and then I scan it again, email that in. Maybe that's more complicated than the other way, but that's what I'm doing now. Maybe someone has some good tips. My next smartphone is likely going to be Android based. Maybe a Samsung. We'll see. I like Jess's phone more than mine. I do regret buying this. Not necessarily an iPhone, but I regret buying an iPhone this high end. I'm like, it gets used and smashed just as much as if I had bought a cheap iPhone. Maybe I should just buy a cheaper phone, and that way you can just replace it when it starts going bad. When you spend this much money into a phone, you really have to be careful and take care of it. And the screen is cracked for the second time. It's like, do I spend $200 to get the screen replaced? Maybe. Do I wait for a really good deal and get a new phone with a deal somewhere? Maybe. Maybe. Oh, there goes the computer again? Like, really? I'm doing exactly the suggested speed. I mean, dead on. Okay, 1 kilometer over. But you can only get 1 kilometer closer than dead on. It might also be that the rear trailer is now empty and the front trailer is full. Maybe I put some more weight on the bridge and confuses the computer. Like, no point of speeding up to 80 because we got sharp corners coming. White caps in the water? Yeah, it's pretty windy out there. Looks like some nice homes down there with their own docks. Water breaks, wave breaks, or whatever they're called. So, well, I think there's an RV park down there, possibly. Several RVs anyway, so must be an RV park down there. Well guys, I think I'll leave it there. We're going to enjoy this narrow windy road all the way to Creston. So thank you for watching. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. And tell us stories of stuff you've forgotten. More hand gestures?
Maybe I forgot to love you.
She's forgotten to love me. Oh no. Oh no. Harsh. Harsh. I think it's time for a nap, okay? Go take a nap. Okay guys, thanks for watching. Hit the thumbs up. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll see what we get. I'll let you guys know where we're running tomorrow. Today is what, Thursday? So it's all up in the air now. Dispatch probably doesn't even know where I'm going now. They're probably busy working on something. So yeah, thanks for watching, and sorry to the dispatch gods out there. Screwed up your day a bit? That's all right. We're allowed to make mistakes once in a while, right? There we go. Okay, see you guys.